Hello, everybody. Welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like. We are trying to hit 30K subs, so it would be much appreciated. We are back with political Rusty Buckets over here, and I am going to be talking about the mayoral election in New York because it was a very controversial election and a very big one in terms of, in my opinion at least, and a lot of people's opinion, spelling the direction of politics in America going forward. Now, I have always had a theory. And this theory was very much reinforced by Zoron's success. And that was socialist ideas are popular. In fact, if you look at when you just remove the word socialism from the equation and just simply ask people, does this policy sound good to you? The answer is yes. Overwhelmingly so, in fact. But the problem is, the conditioning in this country has been to treat socialism like it's this terrifying thing, that it means the downfall of the country, the downfall of the economy. But the thing is, the economy is already going into shit, and it is harder and harder and harder for normal working class people to pay their bills, to make enough money for their living expenses, let alone the prospect of potentially saving some of that money for the future to buy a house or anything like that. It's become increasingly more difficult. The American dream, as it were, has become basically impossible to reach for more and more people every single day, it seems like. And that was not exactly helped by Donald Trump and Doge just fucking tanking the economy. But these ideas, when you remove the scary word from it, when you just look at what working class people need and tell them this is what we're going to try and get you, it's very hard to beat that message. The problem is the other side of the party, or the other side of the, the two political parties you get to have in America, the right and the Democrats, which you'll note there, I didn't say the left. People get mad at me when I do this, like, the two sides are equally bad. I have never said that, actually. I don't think they're equally bad. However, the Republicans, being the threat that they are, the fascists that they are, the people who are supposed to stand in opposition to that, you want to be good, qualified, capable people who have your interests in mind. However, Democrats are more or less just Republican light, where they're still taking money from big donors who work against the interest of the common man. They just do. And they are not really willing to risk that. And you can see in this election in New York that exact situation very much coming to be, because Andrew Cuomo overwhelmingly was who the DNC, the Democratic establishment, supported. In fact, there is a senator, I don't remember what her name is, but a senator for New York who immediately went on TV and started saying a bunch of Islamophobic ass shit towards Zoron. The establishment Democrats do not want someone representing their party who isn't taking money from these corporate benefactors, who isn't first and foremost trying to keep the system of capital alive and to keep that system working for the people who are paying for them to get elected. Instead, he takes the power of the people. Instead, he talks directly to the people and speaks towards their interests rather than A, not really talking about those interests much at all, and then B, paying lip service to them when they come up. Where you see all these mayoral candidates, and they're like, what's the first thing you would do if you're in office? And like half of them say they're going to go visit Israel. Those are not people who give a shit about your interests, really. They give a shit about optics. They give a shit about what is going to get them paid more money out of the Israeli lobby, which is something plenty of Democrats are being paid by as well. Zoron is doing something that I always thought was possible, which is you get a charismatic person in front of the camera who can communicate these ideas clearly without scaring people with the word socialism, even though he does still obviously identify as a democratic socialist. He's not like, I don't know, socialism good, let me do it. Blah. Like, there's A, very few socialists who ever get a chance to get on a stage, and then B, not everyone's a great communicator. Not everyone's charismatic. Like, while I do think that I could do a decent job being on stage calling out Andrew Cuomo, I don't think I could do it as well as a Zoron Mandani can. And unfortunately, having these charismatic individuals, having them be able to communicate these ideas and having it happen on this large platform is something that the Democrats have stopped from happening time and time again. You go back to 2016 in the Democratic primary, and Bernie Sanders should have won that primary and got completely screwed out of it. I was very fearful going into this election that they would do the same exact thing to Mamdani, but they couldn't manage to pull that off, and he did become the Democratic primary nominee, which pretty much means that you're going to be the mayor of New York, period, because it's not like they're about to elect a Republican. I think there's been talks of, I know for a fact that, why am I blanking on his name right now? The current mayor, Eric Adams. Eric Adams is going to run as an independent, and I believe Cuomo is considering running as an independent, but I don't think they're going to beat him. I just don't think if Eric Adams, first of all, everybody fucking hates that guy, and Cuomo, if you couldn't beat him the first time, why would you be able to beat him the second time? I just don't see that happening. I think this is a huge W, because this is, to me, the first domino to fall. Let this guy on the largest mayoral platform that really exists other than Los Angeles, it's basically, in terms of standing with the rest of the country in a similar spot, very at the forward front of the media, very forward facing, and there's going to be more people like him. There are more people who have the same ideas he does that will be able to step up, and there will just, the proof, the evidence that a populist movement, an actually populist movement, and not one that just, leans on aspects of it to get people to be racist better, actual populist, actual working for the benefit of working class people. This is, maybe I'm not articulating this well. It's the exact glimmer of light that I really, really needed to see, and America needed to see in the current political landscape. And I think he will be successful. I think there will be more people who follow in his footsteps. And my long prevailing theory, other than just get a charismatic individual who can communicate this stuff well on stage, watch the magic work, I have also always felt that the socialist fear-mongering is progressively going to be less effective, because the older generations who were getting that fear-mongering right at the time that Russia was like, we have nukes, just so you know, and we will use them. Now that the Red Scare has passed, and you now have people my age and younger who did not experience such vicious, over-the-top propaganda, we will see these policies becoming more and more popular. We'll see them being more and more represented, and younger people will be able to vote for and get these policies in place more and more. And I know that's scary to a lot of people, but if you are a working class individual, you have zero to fear. Money is not coming out of your pockets. Opportunity is not being taken from you. In fact, money is being added to your pockets. Opportunity is being given to you. And the only people who should be scared are the ultra wealthy who, guess what, will continue to be wealthy after these policies are implemented. It will just be less. Oh no, I can only have 2 yachts instead of 5. Cry about it. We keep caring, and we keep being told that we're supposed to care about these people like I'm supposed to be sympathetic to them. I'm not. I hope every landlord in New York is crying. I hope that they all get fucked over from their point of view, because there isn't a way to not piss people off when you're doing this kind of thing. There isn't a way to do it. So choose the side that has the overwhelming numbers and overwhelmingly needs it. It's not just the right thing to do, it is also the smart thing to do, because Zoron managed to win this election without millions and millions and millions of dollars in funding from outside sources, from mega corporations, from billionaires who don't want to be taxed. A grassroots movement, a populist movement, purely based upon having good ideas and communicating them well, and he got the win. That is a loud statement, and I'm very, very glad to see it, and I pray that I'm right, that it means we will be getting more of it. I also love watching the racist right-wing people seethe. Man, is it good. Man, is it good. But yeah, that's it. I wanted to talk about it. I probably didn't articulate my thoughts very well here. This is part of the reason I don't want to do politics too often, but I'm very, very, very happy with this result, and I wanted to talk about it. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.